What is up, ladies and gentlemen? Cjthecheesedj here, and we are back with another top 10 video for you guys today. And today we are taking a look at top 10 memeing dinosaurs. So guys, this list is going to comprise of pretty much dinos that you can use to go around just memeing the heck out of players. You know, just pestering them, annoying them, you name it. This list is designed for you. So guys, let's jump into the list straight away. Now guys, coming in at number 10, we have the RG. Now the RG is great for just going around trolling players. They've got decent amounts of health, a decent amount of weight, definitely a decent amount of weight, as well as that they have the ability to pick players in multiple slots. So not only can they pick players up in their beak, but they can also pick players up in their talons as well, which, you know, makes things a little bit easier. So you can essentially pick two different players, and they're great for that. And then pretty much what you can do once you've picked said players is you can kill them. Now, obviously, once you kill them, you will gain their loot as well. If you do have enough weight on your RG, which normally is not a problem because RGs have hella tons of weight. So you'll be sweet in terms of that. But these guys are great for going around and just picking players and just pestering them as well. And just killing even their tames as well, because RGs certainly pack a punch if you've got a decent leveled one as well. So I definitely recommend, if you want to have a little bit of fun, just flying around on RG and annoying the heck out of other players. Now guys, next up at number 9, we have the Beelzebufo. Now the Beelzebufo, once again, is a great team to just go around harassing players. It's got a knockout attack. Both of its attacks deal torpor damage, so you can essentially knock players out. And then for a quick getaway, you can just swim through rivers, swim through the ocean, you name it, and they will most likely not be able to follow you. 1, because, well, they'll be knocked out, and 2, because their swim speed will be significantly slower than your little frog's swim speed. So that is great. Now, like I said, his attacks do torpor as well. So if you ever come across players, you can just simply whack them with your tongue and, you know, just make a quick getaway once they're knocked out, steal all their loot, and just beeline it straight the heck out of there. These guys are great for doing that. And, you know, they are good for hit and run tactics as well. They don't have the best of health or melee damage, but they are able to get the job done. So guys, the Beelzebufo comes in at number 9 on this list. Now guys, next up at number 8, we have the Pygomastix. Now, if you guys aren't aware, this little dude is capable of stealing items from players. He's got two little options. He's got fast pickpocketing and regular pickpocketing. Now, each of those do enable him to pick items off enemy players. However, you have to make sure you've obviously got pickpocketing on and that you target the enemy player and whistle to attack this target. Your little Pygomastix then should go and attack the target if he's not following you. Can you go get... Are you scared of the beaver, mate? Are you scared of the big beaver? That's probably understandable, I don't blame you. So yeah, this guy is capable of pickpocketing items. Fast pickpocketing generally tends to give you less items as well as less chance of getting something rarer, but it'll obviously allow your Pygomastix to steal items quicker. Regular pickpocketing, however, allows you to get the better items at a slower rate. So it's up to you how you guys want to use this guy, but you can pretty much just carry one of these around the map with you on PvP servers and just get him to attack random players. Who knows what you might get? You could technically target someone after a boss fight if you really wanted to. There are easier ways to steal their element, but the Pygomastix is one of those ways. So guys, let's move on to number 7. Now guys, coming in at number 7, we have the annoying little pesterers, Microraptors. These guys are extremely annoying and definitely meme worthy. These guys will knock you off your mount if you get them to whistle, if they're tamed obviously, and if you've got them set to attack your target. These guys are bloody nuts, and they're so annoying, especially when you're traveling through the redwoods, as they can knock you off and pretty much leave you susceptible to whatever's in the redwoods. Now, if you can apply that to an enemy player, then you're in for a world of surprise, because these guys do have the capabilities to knock the enemy players off their mounts. And generally, you'll find that they'll knock you off your mount, and then they'll run away. You can see he's running away right now, and then they'll come back to try again. Now, fortunately for us, our woolly rhino is capable of deflecting these attacks and allowing us to stay on top of him. But many of the mounts in Ark actually allow you to get knocked off them. So guys, the Microraptor comes in at number 7. Now guys, coming in at number 6, we have the Equus. The Equus is probably one of the easiest tames to get if you start off on Rag, and he has a very large amount of uses. So obviously he's got his bucking attack, which actually allows you to knock out enemy players. Now, this can be great for when you're first starting on Rag on a PvP server and you've got enemy players coming around. You know, the Equus is capable of easily knocking out enemy players. These guys are capable of knocking out Rexes if their melee damage is leveled up enough. As well as that, once you craft the saddle, you then have access to make the lasso ability, which can pretty much cause you to lasso enemy players. Not really recommended though, but you will want to knock them out for sure. because this guy is an absolute machine. Once you knock him out, it is then up to you what you want to do. I've used this guy many times to knock out enemy players and pretty much just loot them as well as kill them if you really wanted to. So it's entirely up to you guys. But this guy is easily capable of knocking out Rexes, so he's not going to have much of any problem knocking out enemy players. And that is why he's number 6 on the list. Now guys, coming in at number 5, we have the Megalosaurus. Now, this guy is absolutely great for memeing because you can pretty much run around with this guy, and if you see any enemy players and they try coming in and picking you or whatever, you can simply pick their mount up and just eat them. You can see here we've got this RG right now, and he's just getting demolished by us. We're just chowing him down into us, and the good thing about this is if they obviously have their dino on neutral, the flyer will continuously come after you, and you can simply just keep grabbing them in your mouth and allowing yourself to pretty much kill them and their tame. And then if they've got any items on their tame, obviously like the RG, then you're going to grab a whole heap of loot off them, and it'll definitely be worth it. As well as that, this guy does pick up pteranodons and tappies, so he's definitely well worth it, and he packs a punch. Now obviously it has to be night time for this effectively to work, but you'd be surprised at how many people fly around during the night. So guys, the Megalosaurus comes in at number 5 on the list. Now guys, coming in at number 4, we have the Megalania. Now the Megalania is a great meme in Dino. Pretty much what you can do with him is you can go around to enemy bases. Obviously they've got to be semi-undefended or enemies in the wild, and you can pretty much just run up to them and attack them. Although I don't know why he's glitching under the ground at the moment. It's a bit funky, maybe it's just a Valgyro. But pretty much what you can do with him is you can inflict Mega Rabies upon your enemies, which, you know, it doesn't seem like that much of a big deal. But if you do inflict them and they accidentally go too close to their tribe mates, to any dodos in their tribe, they'll actually inflict them with Mega Rabies and it will carry on. Pretty much just continuing a cycle, which is really great, and it's really annoying for the enemy player as well because they've constantly got to get rid of their Mega Rabies and wait for it to run out. So yeah, now obviously they can transfer servers and come back, but if they can't transfer, then you've just inflicted Mega Rabies on them. So guys, let's move on to the next one. Alrighty guys, now coming in at number 3, we have Troodons. Now these guys are great. These guys you can just set them and leave them, or you can even use wild ones. So what the Troodons are able to do, they're able to scout out enemy players, as well as that they can inflict torpor damage and pretty much keep you knocked out for a very long time. Because of their hit thing, the way they hit, they continuously circle you and they occasionally cannot kill you. So they'll occasionally do a bit of damage, but enough damage to knock you out, which is pretty entertaining. Now, as well as that, you can see here they've got the scout, corpses, and everything else, as well as traps and players. But what you can do is you can actually just set these guys on to aggressive and then just set them on wandering. Now, what you can do then is, by chance, you could possibly have these guys just attacking enemy players. However, if you're doing it in a pack of these guys will generally attack and manage to kill most things because that's just what they're able to do. Now, even if you just set them on aggressive and drop them in an enemy player's base, you'll be surprised at the amount of damage these guys can do. Majority of the time, players' bases tames are normally on passive, so you won't have to worry too much about them dying because all their dinos are on passive, so your Troodons will just come in and melt them. So these guys are great for doing that. But guys, that's them at number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Now guys, coming in at number 2, everyone's bloody hated dino, the Raptor. The Raptor is great for just memeing whoever the heck you want to. He's got the pin ability, which allows him to pin enemy players and just leave them in place. Now, if you're hunting with a pack of these guys, you can easily shred through most players' armor with ease while they're pinned and while your other Raptors are attacking. Now, obviously, while you're doing that, you will gain the buff as well, because these guys do get a pack buff, and they'll receive it, and you'll get the alpha buff as well. These guys are great for just running around and trolling enemy players and picking them off their mounts, because majority of the time Raptors are just so annoying and they can pick pretty much players off most small to mid-sized mounts, which is really good and annoying for enemy players obviously. You can then easily eat them and gain all their loot and just annoy them in general. So guys, that's why the Raptor comes in at number 2 on the list. Now guys, coming in at number 1, the king of memeing himself, we have the Dodo. The Dodo is one of the most memeable dinos in all of Ark. So you can currently see here, he's got a C4 mine strapped to his head. So what we can actually do is we can lob this guy into enemy bases, we can bring a flyer along, just bring our flyer, drop him into the base, and kaboomy. Just like that, you've got yourselves a portable bomb. Now, obviously, if they've got turrets, they're going to shoot the Dodo. However, and the C4 as well. But you know, that's not much of a problem, because if you drop it on the side that their tames are all in and then decide to blow it up, well then guess what? They aren't going to have any more tames left, because you've just dropped this dodo strapped with C4 in, and that's enough to pretty much kill most dinos. So definitely invest in these guys. As well as that, they are very easy to tame, they're very expendable, they're really easy to breed, and you can pretty much sacrifice them however you want to. Don't come towards me with that C4, mate. Just like that, look at that. You will feel slightly bad for him, but I mean, the explosive power that they provide will definitely outweigh that bad feeling that you'll get. So guys, the dodo is the king of memeing, and he is at number 1. So guys, that'll wrap up the video for today. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you thought of it down below in the comments. Let me know what your go-to dinos for memeing other players are. But other than that, guys, thanks very much for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.